Oh, hey. God, this feels weird. I'm just sat home alone talking to the camera. It is literally the most grey day today. My background also looks so grey and boring. I've got a bit more personality than this, guys. I promise I don't just live in a beige palace, but unfortunately my flat is full of windows, which is awesome for lighting, but no good for filming because you can just see exactly where I live. So thank you so much if you are back watching my channel. If you're new here, perfect video to watch. You're gonna get to know me so well. I'm gonna do a bit of a sit down video today because I don't really feel like I've introduced myself over on YouTube. If you click on one of my videos, you might be like, who is this girl? Basically just got people to send me questions over on my Instagram and I'm gonna answer them. Revolutionary. But yes, thank you for watching if you're here and I hope you enjoy this video. And yeah, loads of questions. I'm definitely not gonna get through all of these, but where should I start? Let's start easy. How old are you? I'm 25. I'm officially the age where I stopped producing collagen and Leonardo DiCaprio won't fancy me anymore, so I'm 25. My birthday is July. I'm a Leo. Can you tell? Okay, another easy one. What did you study at uni? So I graduated in 2020 and COVID hit in my third year of uni. So I had basically 2 3/4 years of uni and then the last semester I basically did from my boyfriend's kitchen. I handed in my dissertation from his kitchen and then I was like, yay, uni done. It was the most anticlimactic end to 3 years of my life. I basically studied really niche. I studied classical literature and civilization. And if you're like, huh? That is basically ancient history, but it's more literature based. So I basically did ancient literature. There's not really too many job prospects off the back of a classics degree. You kind of go into being a lecturer or a librarian or an influencer. I basically just found the subject really interesting when I was at school and I just wanted to go to uni. So I was like, I might as well spend 3 years studying something that I find interesting and then figure it out after that, which I know is not the way that most people do it. Lots of people say you have to go to uni with a plan of what you want to do and do a subject that's actually going to help you get a job afterwards. But I don't know, it really, I had an awesome time at uni and I figured it out afterwards. I feel like everything, unless you're doing something that you actually need the degree for, I had no idea what I wanted to do at 18. So I was like, I might as well just enjoy the next 3 years of my life. And I'm really glad I did it that way because I did really enjoy those 3 years of my life. And I basically came out of uni and I landed a job in sales. That was when lockdown was. I worked from home for a year doing that job in sales, realised sales wasn't my thing. Then I went into a job in marketing. And then I did 3 different jobs in marketing before I basically started doing this full time. So I do think that if you are at uni right now and you are feeling so stressed about what you want to do, you're not sure if your degree is going to help you don't know what job you want to go into, you will be fine. I promise you'll be fine. Everything has a way of sorting itself out, and also you are so young. I still don't know what I'm gonna do in life. I'm doing this right now, which is awesome, but I don't know, life is so long. You've got so much time to figure out what you wanna do. Do not stress about not being where you need to be in life because it will sort itself out, I promise. Is there anything that no one knows about you? Yes. Yes, there is. Well, all of my close friends and family and people in my life know this about me, but I've never spoken about it on social media before. I love singing, but I don't do it anymore, and that's why I don't really talk about it that much because voice is a muscle and you need to train. Like you would go to the gym, if you don't go and do squats for, I don't know, 3 years since I've sang, then you're not going to be able to do them as well, and I definitely cannot sing as well as I used to. But I am thinking about getting lessons again because I did love it. Anyway, I'll go back to when I first started singing. So throughout all of school, I had singing lessons. Went to my school on a singing scholarship. And I basically did all of my grades at school, got a grade 8 distinction. I left school, went to uni on a choral scholarship. I went to uni and I was like, singing is what I want to do. That's going to be my job. It's going to be my career. This is what I mean about I don't know, thinking that you want to do something and then it working out in a completely different way. But basically singing was everything that I wanted to do. I loved it. I thought it was so much fun. To get to the level where you make it your job and it's your profession, like with anything, you need to put a lot of time into it. And I, at the age of 19, was more interested in going to the pub, which is completely fair enough. I was 19, I can think of nothing worse now. But at that time, I was young, I was having fun, I wanted to do what I wanted to do, and I just stopped singing. So throughout uni, I was in choirs, but I definitely just lost the passion that I had pre-uni. And I still did it, and I did it until the end of my 3rd year. I had singing lessons the whole time. I was in choirs, sang in front of the Queen, pretty bloody cool. And then I just stopped, and I haven't done it since uni, which is such a shame. But I feel like now I'm in a position where I've got a bit more time on my hands. I don't love the pub as much. Watch the space. I'm going to be posting singing YouTube soon. No, I'm joking, I won't put you through that. But yeah, singing is one thing that no one knows about me, but you do know. Majority of these questions are all about content creation and influencing, even though I feel sick. How did you start creating content, and when did you know it was right to leave your job? Where do I start here? My last job before I did this job full time was in marketing, but it was influencer marketing. So I basically was on the brand side of the work that I currently do now. So I basically was working for this company, and I was working on all of the influencer campaigns from the brand side. I went for that job in the first place because I had just always found influence marketing so interesting, and also something that I had kind of always wanted to do, but I always thought I wasn't interesting enough to do it. I don't know. I just thought that it wasn't for me. It wasn't for me. I just thought that it was for other people. It wasn't for me. I could never do that. I also was just really, really embarrassed to post videos online and put myself out there, which is crazy because I never thought that it was embarrassing that other people did it. It was just something about me doing it. I just put a bit of a weird block on myself, saying that I couldn't do it, even though I clearly wanted to do it. I was basically working with this mentality of really wanting to do something, being surrounded by people who were doing it through my job, and then just feeling like, why am I not doing this? Like, what is going on? I think I watched this video on TikTok or something, and it was like, hey, this is your sign. If you want to start creating content, just go and do it. And I was like, fine. If it's embarrassing, it's embarrassing, but I'll never know if it could have been something if I didn't give it a try. My boyfriend went to Cape Town for the month because he's self-employed and he was in between leases and he just wanted somewhere sunny to work. And I remember really wanting to go on that trip, but I didn't have the annual leave. I also didn't have the money to go. And so he basically flew, and I was like, okay, he's back in a month. Give yourself a month to put all of your energy into trying to make content, post content, grow a page. If you can hit 10k followers within that month, I know looking back, that's actually that's a crazy goal. I don't really know what I was thinking. I clearly had no idea about how to actually do this job. My page started very much as a mental health outlet for me. And then after that, I discovered running and sport and fitness and getting myself out my comfort zone a bit more, I guess. And that's where it kind of grew from there. But crazily, I hit 10k followers within that month on TikTok. I don't know how. My first few videos literally got like 3 views, and I was like, this is the most humiliating thing in the world. But I was like, no, you give yourself a month, persevere. And I did. And then I got my first brand deal at the end of the first month, the day that my boyfriend was flying back from Cape Town. And I was like, this is the synchronicities here. Something's happened, something's going on. And yeah, and then I kind of grew it from there. I would not be in the position that I am now if I didn't have that month where I just threw myself completely in. So yeah, you see all those like weird online gurus being like, 1 month can change your life, but like, it kind of can. Sorry, this was a 2-pronged question. When did you know it was right to leave your job? I knew it was right to leave my job. To be completely candid and open, I had a 6-month deal come through with a brand, and the pay for that deal per month was £100 less than my salary at my last job. And the moment that I signed that contract, I handed in my notice at work. At least for the next 6 months, I know that I will be in the same financial position that I am in right now, which granted wasn't great. I was on like a grad salary, minimum wage. It wasn't like this awesome huge paycheck that came in. Granted, it was amazing that that matched my salary. Looking back, obviously my salary was not a lot. Yeah, the moment that deal came in, I sent my termination email, which was also hilarious, telling everyone at my work that I was quitting my job to become an influencer. I remember sending the email like, I'm moving on to other creative endeavours. And here I am now. Best decision I have ever made. Genuinely, the best decision I have ever made. I think I was in a unique position that the job that I was doing, while I loved it and I loved the people that I worked with, and it was an amazing job to have in London, I wasn't passionate about it and I didn't love it. So it didn't really feel like a loss to leave it, to try and pursue something that I really, really loved. So it just felt like the right decision to leave it. So yeah, so that's how I left my job and that's how I became an influencer. What next? Loads of questions about running on here. Okay, how did you get into running? Start of last year, I couldn't run a 5K. I was a little bit like, oh, like this running thing seems kind of cool. My boyfriend was really, really into running. He had done 2 marathons by that point, but I think because I saw him and he was quite fast and he could run marathons and he's always been quite sporty and quite fit, I just thought that running wasn't for someone like me who, I haven't really had that much of a history of being sporty. When I was at school, I did singing rather than sports. I would pretend to be ill every time a Wednesday afternoon came around and I had to play sports. Like I wasn't a sporty child at all. I think just sort of growing up with the absence of sport in my life, I guess I just didn't think that running was for someone like me. But then I just saw lots of people online who were pretty similar to me running, and I was like, oh, like maybe it's not just for these really sporty people who can go out and run a sub 20-minute 5K, like maybe it is for everyone. So I then started a training plan to get to a 5K. I ran the 5K, but I wasn't really like, I liked running, but I didn't love it. Similarly with how I wanted to post online for a month to get into it. That's kind of how my brain works and how I work. I wanted to really dive into running. I signed up to a half marathon 2 months away, and then I basically started a training plan for that. I literally got that training plan on Google. It was so bad. I had no idea that there were apps like Runner out there that actually give you personalized training plans. I was using this like PDF. It was so bad. Anyway, so I trained for this half marathon. I realized that I am never going to be someone that's going to be super, super amazing and super fast and getting ridiculously fast times. But it was such a good outlet for my head and for my mental health. I felt so good after a run. My head felt so clear when I was on a run. I think I just started to like really, really, really love it and take away any expectation of time or pace or speed and started doing it solely for the way that it made me feel. And yeah, then I did that half marathon, loved that, immediately signed up for a full marathon. I had the bug at this point. Did the full marathon, genuinely the best day of my life so far. That was something that felt so wildly impossible for me. And then to be able to do that, it honestly, like I feel like I like my brain chemistry changed on that day. And I just kind of realised that I can do things and I can do hard things. And the marathon basically came a week after I'd quit my full-time job to do content creation full-time. So it was just this whole thing for me where I was finally doing something that I really, really loved job-wise, and I just accomplished something that I thought was so wildly impossible for myself, and I was so, so happy. And that day was just a culmination of all of my hard work over those past 6 months, and yeah, it was amazing. So yeah, that was my first ever marathon, still to this day my only ever marathon. I am training for New York Marathon at the minute. I love running, it's such a good outlet for my head, for my mental health. I've made so many friends through it, and it's been such a positive thing for my body image. Not saying that because I've lost weight or anything, just I hate running in leggings. So I've been forced to wear shorts, and I never used to wear shorts. And now I'm just so used to seeing myself in shorts and like tiny tops because you get so hot when you run, and I don't give a shit because I'm like, oh my God, look at what my body can do for me rather than how it looks. Anyway, it's a whole thing. So yeah, what was the question? How did you get into running? That's how I got into running. I did see this one as I was scrolling. Let me try and find it. It was quite interesting. Here we go. Do you feel like you need to keep doing marathons to keep up your online presence? No, I don't at all. Did the Berlin Marathon. I then signed up for an Ironman 70.3, which I did because I similarly wanted to get into swimming and cycling, and the way my mind works, I need something intense to like get me into something. And now I'm doing the marathon again because I loved the first marathon and I love running. Next year, I don't know, I kind of want to do a marathon a year just because I love travelling. And I think it's such a fun way to be in a new city, and then you have so many cool memories from that city. And I think doing loads of marathons, like, I don't know, doing a marathon a year in a different place every single year, that's not, obviously that's intense in your body, but that's not crazily intense. That's also not some sort of like challenge. That's just something that I personally would want to do. So no, I don't feel the pressure to keep doing challenges or keep doing marathons for my online presence, but I probably will keep doing them because I personally enjoy doing them. Let me know if that is why you follow me, but I don't think that's the sole reason why people are engaging with my stuff. I would hope that it's for everything. So yeah, no, I don't feel that. Would you ever do a full Ironman? No. No, I would not. No, I wouldn't. Well, I would. I would, but not right now. I'm 25. I don't need to be dedicating my whole life to doing a full Ironman right now. I definitely want to do one probably around the 30 mark, give me 5 years. But from doing a half Ironman, I put so much time and effort and hours into the training for that. I don't think that I can double that and still be a normal person. Now it's not right for me. Huge respect to anyone who has done a full or is currently training for a full. Hats off to you, that is insane. I think I just need to sort of be a little bit older, and I don't know, I don't feel like I need to be doing that right now. Next question. I know you've said you don't like sharing your boyfriend on social media. Why not? Not in a sassy way, in brackets. I don't really share my relationship too much on social media just because I feel like I share so much of my life already. There isn't that much of a distinct line between work and personal life. And so I have really tried to draw hard lines between when I am working and when I'm not working. I think also because I've come from a corporate background, I'm just sort of quite like the structure of having working hours versus non-working hours. I also think that's way more healthy for your head. Marcus and I live together. I don't want to be spending all of my time at home in the house thinking, oh, this would be such a good video, or like, oh, if we film this together, we should do this, we should do this. I just want my time with him to be actually special and chilled and not thinking about work all the time. Some people share their relationships so well, and I love watching people's relationship content. I just think for my mental health, I need to make some clear boundaries. I also don't really share too much of my social life online. Also just a boundary of I want to hang out with my friends rather than making it into a work thing. I don't want that to sound like I'm yucking someone else's yum through saying, oh, I don't do this because, like, that is literally just because I cannot handle mentally crossing the boundaries between work and personal life, if that makes any sense. I feel like I explained that really badly, but hopefully you get what I mean. What else? I won't do too many more. I feel like I've been yapping for ages. What are you reading right now? Oh, I just finished a book, actually. 2 books ago, I read The Nightingale by Kirsten Hanna, which I absolutely loved, thought it was great. So then I read another one by her, which was called The Women. It was all about this nurse who went to the Vietnam War. It was good. It wasn't, but it was good. And I just finished that. And I've just now started Earth by John Boyne. He wrote this book called The Heart's Invisible Furies, which is my favourite book of all time. And I love him as an author. I think he's amazing. I've read so many of his books, and he's basically doing this mini-series at the minute. It's actually quite a cool idea. He's doing this mini-series where the first book was called Water, and it was about this woman. And then the second book, Earth, is about a guy who was such a minor character in the first book, but this second book is now about him. And then there's going to be 2 more books after this. I think there's Fire and Air, I want to say. It'll be about random side characters from the subsequent books. But they're really short and they're really, really good. So yeah, that's what I'm reading at the minute. I'm going to do one more. Let me find a good one. You travel so much. Why live in London? I'm going to speak more on this in the coming months, but it's looking like I'm not going to be living in London next year, and I will be travelling a lot more. I don't really want to say too much on it now because we're like, Marcus and I are still figuring out what that looks like. But yeah, I don't know why I live in London, to be honest, because I don't think I love London that much. I kind of feel like because I'm not in a full-time job anymore, I'm not getting any of the best bits of London. I feel like London is very made for people who work in offices, and then after work you go for the after work drinks and you socialise with your co-workers, and the space that I'm in right now versus the space that I was in this time last year is completely different, and it just feels a little bit pointless that I live in London. So yeah, I think I'm moving out of London next year, to be completely candid. More on that to come, more on where we'll be. I think basically, I'm sounding so cryptic right now. Basically, we're looking to move around a lot because we don't know where we want to be. And we are both self-employed, and we both have the luxury of being able to move around and figure out where we want to live. But it's kind of just figuring out how my work fits into that, because a lot of the brands I work with right now are UK brands. Will brands want to work with me when I'm traveling around the world? I don't know, still figuring everything out at the minute, but our tenancy in our current place ends in February and we're looking to not renew it. So yeah, but I will explain more when that comes. It's obviously October now. I do have a bit of an idea of what I'm doing, but I just need to finalise details before I actually speak about it. So yeah, that is that. And I will stop the questions now. I feel like I've yapped for so long. Thank you so much if you're still here and you're still watching. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. And if you want to see where I am also at, you can find me on Instagram at Lucy Georgia and TikTok at Lucy Georgia. Yeah, thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful day and I will see you soon.